Welcome back to Cemetery Explorations. Today's video comes to you from Chicago, Illinois. Right now we're at Mount Olivet Cemetery, and there's a couple of interesting people here, and today we're just going to focus on one. But this is a kind of a famous and notable folk figure in the Chicago area. Most people around here have heard of Catherine O'Leary, or at least Mrs. O'Leary, and the theory of the cow. Now, if you haven't heard about this, the famous Chicago fire of 1871 was at one point, a lot of people thought, or it was believed, that Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicked over a lantern in Chicago, and that's what started the Great Chicago Fire. Now, Catherine O'Leary was the owner of the cow, and her husband Patrick resided at 137 DeKoven Street in Chicago. Now, the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 started in their barn on the night of October 8th while they were asleep in their home. Now, her descendants apparently have gone before the Chicago City Board Council and asked them to correct the information about the cause of the fire. Now, they believe that the fire was started by a tenant in Miss O'Leary's boarding house who was drunk and passed out while smoking. To this day, the exact cause of the fire has never been identified, but the Chicago City Board Council exonerated Mrs. O'Leary in 1997 of any blame in the Great Chicago Fire. Now, this is the final resting place of Catherine O'Leary and her husband Patrick. Now, if you're from Chicago or know of this story, or, there's a lot of legend and lore about this. But Catherine O'Leary is somebody that pretty much everybody around the Chicago area grew up hearing about this story about the cow kicked over the lantern. But this is the O'Leary family right here. And here's Patrick, who was the husband of Catherine. Died September 5th, 1894 at the age of 75 years old. But a pretty interesting person in Chicago history here. Now, if you ever get a chance to come and visit here, this is also the first burial location of Al Capone, which I'll show you in another video. Now, that concludes today's cemetery exploration. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.